Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to Raptors Flex Plus. I am your host, Kyle. Up, man. And we are rolling through the preseason. Preseason game number 2. The Raptors took down the Cairns Taipans of the NBL of Australia. And I have a few thoughts in terms of how that game went. But before we get into any of that, please share, like, and subscribe because, like your boy keeps saying, I'm trying to make this one of the illest channels in the Raptors community. You feel me? So yeah, man. The Raptors win this game. What was the final score, man? 134-93 over the Cairns Taipans. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. Um, I've never heard of this team before until recently. But they are of the MBL league in Australia. Apparently, there's about 10 teams within that league. And yeah, I think they play like during the summer and stuff. And this Cairns team is, kind of doing a little NBA tour through the preseason. And their stop last night was in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena. I don't know what to really even think and take away from this game. To be honest, I really don't even think that there's much we could really take away from this because that team is like, respectfully, that is not good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it reminds me like a pickup game at the Y where you have like some vets, some OGs there, maybe playing some youths, and they're just slapping up the youths. Not to say that this Cairns team is youths or whatever, like that, but there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this, and obviously we are seeing that the NBA is far and away the best professional basketball league in the world. All right. And there were some conversations this summer. The US sprinter guy was saying that, the NBA is not a world championship. And, some of the NBA players took exception to that because they're saying, well, this is the best professional league in the world. Like, it's a world championship. So, depending on whatever side of the coin you fall with that, hey, man, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But one thing that I know for sure, and I'm willing to argue this with anybody or debate it with anybody, the NBA is the best professional league for basketball in the world. Okay. The Raptors played sloppy in some aspects yesterday. All right. They came out just drilling threes on this team, right? Cans. And maybe Cans had little jitters. I don't know. I don't know how this team usually plays. But like we came out slapping these guys, hitting threes, getting to the line, getting in the fast break, finishing, scoring down low, getting steals, deflections, playing solid defense in that first quarter. All right. But just like naturally, though, when you are far and above superior to the competition, you might have the, propensity to just relax sometimes. And I'm thinking that some of that might have happened with the Raptors last night because they were plus 21 in the first quarter. All right. Slapping them up. Second quarter, they were only plus 6 in the second quarter. To make matters worse, now I understand that the starters didn't play in the second half, but to make things worse, you lost the third quarter. You lost the third quarter. -6. You could say -3. Alfred Payton hit a shot at the buzzer at the end of the third quarter, making it a +6 in terms of cans. But if you look at it, the second and third quarter was even. against a team that you're supposed to be far superior to. All right. Now, I don't want to come out the gate just being critical of the team. You know what I mean? But my expectation, even if it is just a preseason game, my expectation is that you slap up this team all 4 quarters. All 4 quarters. I don't care if it's the starters, the backups, whoever, because this is not Kansas' first preseason game against an NBA squad. They played the Wizards, and the Wizards slapped them up by 63. And they won every single quarter by double digits. Now, again, I don't want to sound like be all critical of our team because, I mean, shoot, this is our squad. We know that we are a competent team that should be fighting for a playoff spot. And when I say playoff spot, you're fighting for the 6th seed or better. Eventually, I'm going to do my Eastern Conference predictions in terms of where I see each team falling in the standings. But I guess, spoiler alert, my expectation for the Raptors is that they're going to be battling for a playoff spot. And there's no reason why they can't be a play-in team at the least. This is not a team that's to be missing the playoffs. Okay? Now, we still ended up winning by 41. We still ended up winning by 41, yo. We still slapped them. But really, we only slapped them in 2 quarters. The first quarter and the fourth quarter. And by the fourth quarter, I feel like they were just like ready to jump on the plane and go back to Australia. Real talk, yo. They had enough, man. They had enough. Because things weren't really going their way. Now, I don't know what their expectations were. When I say they, I mean Cans, the Taipans. I don't know what their expectations were for playing NBA teams in the preseason. Obviously, you get exposure for some of your players. You play against better competition. It should make you, I don't know, better or see some weaknesses in your game that you need to work on. But like, I don't know, man. They lost to the Wizards by 63, and then they lost to the Raptors by 41. So in 2 games, you lost by 104 points. Yo, you're averaging 50 points loss a game. You're losing by 50 a game, basically, in these 2 preseason games. Like, you can't feel good about that. You can't feel good about that. And this is the team that we had to play in our second preseason game. And I guess the idea was that, you focus on yourselves as a team, right? You try to build good habits from this game, meaning, you want to be able to practice your offensive sets, be able to move without the basketball, get to the right spots, take good shots. Basically, everything that you've been working on in training camp and practice through the first preseason game to now, you want to be able to implement that and see where things stand. But like, when the competition isn't up to snuff, what are you really doing? What are you really doing? Now, mind you, defensively, I thought the Raptors, for the most part, played well. They played true to their philosophy that, as we understand what it is that they want to do and accomplish on the defensive end from the things that we've learned so far, right? There was not a whole lot of switching. Guys were, staying off of the shooters for the most part, making sure that they're contesting, getting hands up. And then the idea is that you go and get the rebound and start your fast break. If the fast break's not there, then you get into your offensive sets. To me, that is just basic principles of an NBA game. All right. So if that is the case, where these are the things that you want to accomplish yesterday, they did that in spurts. But I don't feel like, and I guess it's just, naturally something that happens when you're, like, again, you're playing an inferior opponent, you're up big, like, you might tend to get a little bit sloppy. And I felt like we did that a little bit on the offensive end, man. 11 turnovers in the first half against the Cairns Taipans. Like, that ain't going to get it done against NBA competition. Because even the worst team in the league is not losing by 50 points every night. You know what I mean? So we need to tighten up and be a little bit better, stay true in our principles for the things that we want to do offensively. But to be fair, all right, to be fair, you're without Yakib. You're without Precious. You're without Coloco. Chris Boucher started, but even he looked like he got a little bit of an injury. So now you're down beer mans on your front line. And as we understand, a lot of the sets that they want to run on offense are going to be run through the 5. So that's very concerning going into the next preseason game. Right? And it's concerning from the area of you want to be able to get in as much practice, like real game speed time with the other players that you're going to be going to battle with on the court leading up to the regular season, which, thank God, the regular season starts in 9 days from today. October the 25th, the regular season starts, and like we can just done away with all this preseason stuff. But nevertheless, there's still interest to see how this team continues to gel and build chemistry over the next week and a half. Right? But when you're down your front line like that, that's a little bit concerning to me personally. All right? So, without having that type of action to run through your 5, I guess you're either putting other players in those spots. Like, I thought Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam had some good 2-man game. I thought that offensively we moved around well, filled the spots, had some good cuts to the basket. The fast break really worked well for us tonight off of some steals that we got off of the Cairns turnovers on their offense. But again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't really know what to take away from this. Right? I don't really know what to take away from this because this is not NBA competition. It's not. That's a fact. But I thought that the Raptors still played well enough in spurts where, the offense was moving. They were getting assists on, practically, I think, all of their field goals, not just in the fast break, but on the 3-point attempts. So that's very, I'm very happy with that part of it where we're continuing to move the ball and rack up the assists. It needs to be something that we see with consistency once we get to the regular season. But so far in the preseason, they've shown consistency through the first couple of games that they're going to stay true to who they want to be under Coach Darko Rajakovic, which is making quick decisions, playing fast, getting off the ball, getting that ball out of your hands, and getting good shots on the offensive end, right? They're calling it the 0.5 offense. And if I have to hear any more about this 0.5 offense, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's just the naming convention, because I don't know. Maybe it becomes a new wave, the new trend in the NBA where everybody's talking about the 0.5 offense. But because it's preseason, it just feels like there's nothing else to talk about. Like, how many times are we going to ask Darko Rajakovic and all the players about the 0.5 offense and how they're fitting into it? Like, I get it. Man's got a job to do. Like the media, they got a job to do, so they're going to ask those questions because they're relevant. But like, we need the regular season, guy. We need the regular season now. Like, for real, man. I want to start talking about like not just the offensive philosophy and defensive philosophy and the schemes, man. Like, I want to talk about the games. You know what I mean? How am I supposed to talk about the Raptors versus the Cans Taipans? I am, but like, this was like the realest preseason game you could ever get. OG Anunoby's taking out his orthotics or whatever you want to call it. Um, you know, in the first quarter on the court, tying his shoe. You know what I mean? Like in a regular season game, you might have to like wait a little bit, man, or like move a little faster. But like in a preseason game, it's like who cares, man? You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the second quarter, what's my man's name? Monty McCutcheon, the VP of referees, was interviewed for over 10 minutes about the new rules in the NBA. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Grady Dick and these guys because now they're on the court now to start the second quarter. And I'm trying to see the games and they're showing me clips of Marcus Smart and Kevin Durant with the rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm missing things. Like, yo, 10 minutes. It might even be more that they talk to this guy. Now, mind you, it was cool hearing about the rules and everything, but why they choose this game to tell us about the rules? I'll tell you why. Because they know that the Cairns Taipans is probably not going to keep people's attention on the broadcast forever, right? Because the Raptors should be slapping these guys. They're up 21 at the beginning of the second quarter. So we got a full, healthy dose of Monty McCutcheon for 10 plus minutes. Nevertheless, I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what the new rules were about, hearing it directly from the horse's mouth, for lack of better words. But I mean, you would never do that in a regular season game. You might interview someone for 30 seconds to a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm seeing all the video boards behind Monty McCutcheon in Secaucus, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really seen what it looked like back there before. All the control boards look dope over there. Looks dope over there. But you can't do that in a regular season game. They did it in the preseason game. And I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to bet that Monty McCutcheon never showed up for all the 29 other teams in some preseason game in some shape, way, or form for 10 plus minutes, go. Pretty sure of it. If anybody, you know, is able to refute that claim, I'm willing to be wrong because I don't know everything. But I do know that there's no way that these guys talk to this guy for 10 plus minutes for the other 29 NBA teams. Just tonight against the Cairns Taipans. All right. Couple of other quick notes from this game. Elfrid Payton, um, ex NBA player, was signed as an emergency player, I guess, so to speak, for the Taipans, and he played last night in the preseason game as an opportunity to play in an NBA game to potentially, spark some interest so that he maybe gets signed to a roster. Um, I don't know. What do you say about his performance? Because I mean, you just met the team the night before, and you don't have no practice experience with them. All I'll say is, good luck to him. But that was a name that we recognize as an NBA player, and he played last night as well. Um, Grady Dick's boy, Bobby Clintman. So apparently, Clintman and Grady played on the same. I think it was a high school team or an AAU team or something like that. So they knew each other, and apparently, this guy's supposed to be a 2024 first round pick in the draft. I think he's from Sweden, but he played some ball in the U.S. So I was keeping a little bit of an eye on him. He looks like he looks like he got some length to him. But really hard to decipher his game too much. But it is a name now that's going to stick somewhere in my brain. And if I see him come up somewhere, I'll guess I'll know who he is. But anyways, that's a notable person that played for Cairns last night also. All right. Um. So again, what did I learn from this game? I'm gonna say nothing. I learned absolutely nothing from this game. Did the Raptors learn something from this game as a team? Probably. But me, I didn't learn a thing because I don't feel like the competition was up to snuff. So maybe one thing I did learn is that was probably a good game to take your kids to. Little preseason game probably didn't cost you too much dollars to get some seats in there. And, the kids get to go enjoy themselves, see the Raptors slap up another team, eat some popcorn, drink some pop. And yeah, that's all I can really say. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the next preseason game, which is on Tuesday against the Bulls. And I'm really going to be looking to see how we perform against better competition, right? And in this game, I expect the starters to play a little bit more in this game, probably like through the third quarter or something. Because they're going to need some burn to play a little bit more minutes to get tuned up for the regular season, which is right around the corner, right? So I'm looking at that. Like I said previously in one of my other videos, I'd like to see Grady Dick play a reserve role, playing with the starters a little bit. I did see that he got a little bit of burn with Scotty Barnes yesterday, but again, that game was just really weird because I want to see it against an NBA team. So I'm not sure. This could be taken as a critical video. It could be taken as just a real thing. However y'all want to take it, I'm with it. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. So thank you again to everyone who has been supporting the channel in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're following me on Instagram at Raptors Flex or on Twitter at Raptors Flex, or you're subscribed to YouTube at Raptors Flex. Everywhere is at Raptors Flex. So support, share. Don't forget to like the video. You know the flex. It's your boy, Kyle, and I'm out.